Okay, so I wanted to record real quickly some information regarding what's coming up on the 18th and kind of in preparation for you guys to get ready for, Thanksgiving breaks. I know several of you have plans in order to work on this during Thanksgiving break. So I want to, let me get this pulled up first. All right, so I have 20 gazillion tabs open on my computer, so it's being super wonky. But be sure you're going back to the student packet, okay? If you go to the student packet, you see where, there's a ton of stuff. There's infographics that kind of give you an overview of what your particular category is, all the information that kind of breaks down what the guidelines are. So be sure you're looking at that. The ones that in particular that I wanted to point out to you, due dates, okay? You should be real familiar with this. The final annotated bibliography, peer critique on this Friday, December 6th, is the completed projects due. We'll do a peer reflection or a personal reflection, which will be super easy. We'll have a school contest on the 12th, and then I'll know later on when the Dallas area contest is. Lots of questions about the research checks. Now, here's the thing about the research checks, and I've said this to all the classes. Research checks are designed to help you work through what the citation and annotation should be. They're also particularly useful if you're having a group where somebody's not finding the number of sources they should find. Because if that's the case, then if you do a research check, you have documented that you found this source and it is your information. Now, if you have a group that's functioning well, everybody is finding sources, you're not having any problems, you've got a handle on the citation annotation process, then I'm not trying to add more to your plate, okay? I'm not trying to make you do a research check for something when you've already got it under control. So for me, I'm not trying to add work to that, but I will caution you, if you're struggling with the citation annotation, getting an annotated bibliography done, then you need to do the research checks. If you're having a group where somebody's not finding their sources, you need to do the research checks. So I wanted to be sure and point that out to you. Again, the research checks are just this part of it, right? You've got just the source information right here, nothing too strenuous. The annotated bibliography, the instructions for both the final version and the preliminary one are both in here. So if you go to the annotated bibliography instructions, you can see right here, make sure you have all corrections from part 1. So if you had, and really nobody had any major citation issues, that was pretty well taken care of. So for most of you, it's really just about making sure you have everything organized, everything put together, all your sources accounted for. Yes, you do eventually, like especially if you advance to, say, the regional contest, you will have to merge your image citations with your general annotated bibliography. But for me, for the school contest, I want you to keep your research, the foundation of your thesis, the foundation of your argumentation, apart from the sources that you're using for your images, because that will make it easier for me to evaluate your actual research. So ultimately, if you advance to regionals, you'll blend those together. But at this juncture, you'll have your research annotated bibliography. That's the 20 sources minimum, 4 of them primary. My honors kids, cut that in half. And you have to have those, and then you'll have your image sources or whatever else that you're using to create your product, and that will be kind of at the end of your annotated bibliography. You could conceivably make 2, an image citation and kind of where this is the citation for the image, this is what's in the image. That's your annotation for that is very basic, right? So you can do that, or rather you can just add it to the bottom. Either way is fine with me. Be sure you have good spelling. Be sure you have primary sources first, secondary sources second. Be sure they're alphabetized within those 2 sections. Check your formatting. Most importantly, include your process essay. Again, you will not have finished your product, so I don't expect it to be a total process essay. But you should be talking about how you chose your topic, how you chose your thesis, how you developed your research, what your struggles were. So I don't expect it to be 500 words, but I expect it to be starting started. So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to expect to see it. As long as you're basically doing what I just said, you're going to be fine, unless it has major spelling errors or something like that. So it's a pretty straightforward assignment. You can see right here what the criteria is. Deadline format met, research documentation submitted. Again, that'll be a little bit, that's more about how many sources do you have? Do you have the basic requirements? Have you exceeded them? You know, like I said, I'm not going to be going through the research checks and saying, oh, well, there's only 15 research checks, right? But I am going to be making sure that everything's kind of going together, that you don't have too many tertiary, that kind of stuff, right? That's what that's going to be about. Properly formatted, that this should be a give me. The annotation is clear and provides summary and usage. That should be a give me. Spelling and grammar conventions, variety of source material, the process essay, super basic, right? So you can look at the rubric, you can study that and see what's expected. So that's right here in number 6 on your thing. Directions for the peer critique, as far, and I verbally told you this, but if you're really struggling at how you want it to look, this kind of gives you an idea. And I'm not gonna, don't know that I'm gonna grade it with this rubric, right? This is kind of the rubric that they give me, but I'm going to kind of make it my own. But you can see right here, if you're thinking, well, how on earth do I create a thing for my documentary, right? Then you can see right here what that's supposed to look like. I'm really pretty flexible with that. What I want to see is that you're planning, that you're prepping for your History Day project. Contest prep. We'll go over this more on the 2nd of December, where it talks about publishing websites and stuff like that. So we'll be dealing with that later on. But this could be something you would look over. Now, I will say, if you're wanting to see some sample evaluation sheets, I'm going to share these if I don't think they're already in the NHD packet, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. They're sample judge sheets, and you can go in and you can see what the criteria is going to be. So when the judges at the school contest, at the regional contest, and so on, this is how they evaluate it. So I'm going to share that with you so you can see it. And this kind of breaks it down too. You can go to National Contest Judges information, and you can see all the same stuff that I'm looking at right here. You can also go to, come on, Mousy, right here. Don't forget to go to the website. Contest Rulebook gives you guidelines about the process paper, the annotated bibliography, walks you through all of this. There's a general rules for all categories section that takes you through all of this. There's a section for each specific category, so there's no excuse to not be aware. I've been saying all along, go to the NHD website, go to the NHD website so you can see. It gives you the individual category rules, all this kind of stuff, breaks down the judge sheets, so you have access to that. That is in your student packet, so be sure that you're looking through all of this stuff. I have the exhibit boards in my room, so if you are doing an exhibit and you want to pick one up, you can come by whenever you want to in the next couple days if you want it for Thanksgiving break. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, it's better to email me and ask me before the 18th than to wait. So just go ahead and shoot me an email or come by my room and ask me a question if you're confused about what's due or how you need to do things. And certainly if your group is having any issues, please let me know one way or the other. If you're going to have a problem. So I think that's pretty much it. I think that walked you through stuff.